Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Man, we rolling, man. 33 years of prison stories, we rolling. Listen, I want to thank everybody who been leaving comments, sharing the videos, subscribing, liking the videos. It means a lot to me. It helps the channel grow. I appreciate it, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We out here, man. We're going to keep it rolling. Listen, today, man, I want to try to drop this quick story on y'all because I just was trying to explain some of this stuff to my nephews, and I wanted to get it out while it's on me. That's why I'm outside. So I don't know how this gonna go. Hopefully I can get through this video. Cars moving around, people going in and out. So, you know, I don't want to start and can't finish. So I'm gonna try to get it over with fast as possible. Cause I want to tell y'all this story because it's one of them. It's another one of them savage moments, man. When crazy things happen that you see, that stay in your brain that you just don't forget, and it, you know, it never ceases to let you know where you at and what type of environment that you're in. And this is why I tell these stories, so people can understand what they facing when they out here in this free world, man, and they take these chances of going on to the penitentiary or getting locked up or catching a case, man. It's all the time, 100% of the time, not worth it, you know. And this is what I want people to get out of these videos. But with that being said, man, I can remember being in that wall, right? In that wall, 500 Spring Street. You know, I was unlucky enough to be put in there straight from receiving. Coincidentally, I just ran into a dude, shout out Bobby Swarford. I just ran into him at an event this past weekend. That was one of the youngest dudes in the wall along with myself. So, you know, he's one of the first dudes I met being locked up. And this is the first time I seen him out here in the free world. It was a beautiful thing, man. If you go to my Instagram, I had a picture somewhere in my story. But with that being said, though, man, it was vicious in there. And when I tell you vicious, I mean vicious with a capital V. And one of the first vicious things I seen was, remember I met this older dude in there. He had been locked up a long time at the time. He was an older cat, and he had been doing a whole lot of time, man. And they called him P.I. Now P.I. was a unique individual, man, because he was weird and strange all at the same time, right? And but he was dangerous though. He was dangerous, sneaky dangerous. You got all kinds in the penitentiary. He was one of them. He's sneaky dangerous, so you got to watch him, you know. And at the time too, being he was locked up, he had 2 boys. Yeah, he had 2 boys. And he slept when I was in the wall, all these cells were single cells when I first got there. So he slept in this cell right here. He had a boy that slept in the cell beside him right here, and a boy that slept in the cell beside him in here. Now, he was an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, man, because he had them dudes writing and knitting and drawing. He had them working. They was working for him. He making plenty of money in the penitentiary. I'm talking about he making so much money, he loaning police money. You know, cash money. He's loaning them money, you know, and they left his cell open, man. He can get in and out of his cell whenever he wanted to. It was crazy that he could do that. But he could get in and out of his cell anytime he wanted to. And me being new in the penitentiary, I just found that kind of crazy and weird. But I heard about him. You know, I had talked to him a couple times because he was the one too. He was like Red in Shawshank Redemption. Anything you wanted, you go through him, you can get it. You can get to Bethlehem, you can get drugs, you can get food, you can get anything you want, you could get through him because he had the connections. You know, so he could facilitate anything you wanted. If you had enough money to get it, he can make it happen, you know. You know, just like old Red and Shawshank Redemption, what you want, you know. So you know what I'm saying, I used to be around him because when I came out, he came out. But then, like I told you, he had the cell that can get open and ever. So at the time I was in there, when they had first started doing rec back, because dudes was getting killed in there, so they had killed all the rec. You know, they was on lock for years before I got there, but when I got there, they had started transitioning and coming out. So we coming out a block at a time or tier at a time. But, you know, P.I. can come out when he want to. You know, he had that type of pull. Like I say, he loaning the police money, so he got pulled like I don't know what. So I can remember, man, like I say, he could get real vicious. You know, he talk so calm and so, yeah, man, you know, yeah. That's how he talked. And he had like a little rasp to his voice, but it was like a high-pitched voice, and he talked fast, you know. But he be so calm, and then, you know, I've seen him just explode. And when he explode, it's hard to explain without using the type of words that he used. But those dudes, man, like you got dudes like him, they explode in the penitentiary, man. He just exploded. He got, you MF, I kill you, you mother. He goes into that type of rage, and he be, yeah, I cut you. And he won't play it, you know what I'm saying? But he was an entrepreneur though. Like I say, the boy he had on one side was writing letters to all these different women and giving them sob stories and trying to get money in and acting like they was somebody else, and you know they did that all day long. The one on the other side was knitting, knitting with they had all of that when I first got locked up. He knitting, you know, sweaters and what you call them things, dashikis and blankets and all that, and they selling these things on the street for real money, big money, $300-400 a pop, you know. So you can do all of that type of stuff. When I first got locked up, you could send stuff out on the street and sell it, and they was doing all of that. So he making money hand over fist, you know. Then he running the store box and all types of stuff was going. He had all types of stuff in the mix, man. He had it going on. He had been locked up in the penitentiary so long that he had more or less been on cruise control with how to do his time and how to survive for him. It worked for him the way he did it, you know. So, but you know, just like I told you, in the penitentiary, man, there's always gonna be trouble. Trouble comes everywhere all the time. So, you know, he gonna have problems as well because he running the business. You know, he got boys, you know what I'm saying? He loaning out money. He got a store box. So he gonna have issues as well. You know, and like I say, I think the Bethlehem that I told y'all that I got, the first one, the little Rambo junk with the jagged edge and the compass on the back, I paid for that through him. You understand? He facilitated that. You dig? So, like I say, he had pull, and he was connected all the way around the board. But like I say, don't matter. People will still test you. They'll still try you. And then especially with the fact that you could have a reputation that people know that you don't put in work and they know you'll do something. But at the same time, younger people might not know, so they may try you. Older people might look at it like, well, you know, you still got them boys. You ain't trying to lead them boys. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna, you know, all types of, you know, flammery and con and larceny gonna come at you either way. You see what I'm saying? But it's up to you to answer the bell. So I can remember, man, he had some type of issue where he had one of his people, one of the boys, and sold somebody something, you know, either a blanket or dashiki or something, and sent it out to the dude's people, and the dude's people ain't pay for it. So P.I., he pull up on the dude and he trying to get the money. So the dude telling him that his people pay for it. He's telling them that the people didn't pay for it. So it's a dispute right then and there. So, you know, P.I., he getting a little aggressive or whatever, and the dude holding his ground because the dude really was, you know, younger, had size on him or whatever. He telling, man, look, my people paid for that. I ain't trying to hear that fools. Don't come up to me with that garbage. And P.I. like, man, you better get my money. I'm telling you. And he like, man, you better get your old, you know, ASS out my face, man. On P.I. like, okay, all right, okay, it's a game. Okay, it's a game. You know, nobody never took nothing from P.I. Yeah, you can believe that. Well, man, you better, you know, and that's how the conversation went. So it was just going back and forth. So people looking, because, you know, we out there. And when stuff like that happen in the wall, man, normally you already know it's gonna be some type of bloodshed, because this is the type of environment we in. You don't get loud, you don't disrespect another dude, or you don't do none of those things in this environment, and don't expect some type of physical altercation to come behind it. So it was crazy because nothing happened that day. Nothing at all. They said their words, people like boom, 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 they went on about their way. Each one of them went on about their way. So, man, it was maybe, man, probably a week later, we out there for rec, man, dudes on the phone, dudes getting their hair cut, dudes sitting at the table playing cards, playing dominoes, whatever it may be. And man, that dude was sitting out there talking to somebody, and P.I. is walking with his boy. And they walking laps. A lot of dudes do that in prison. You see them, they just walk laps. They walk all around the block. They just keep walking and talking. This is the routine of a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, it's therapy for them. It's their thinking time. It's how they, meditate or whatever. But a lot of dudes do it. They just walk. When we go outside, they do it around the yard. But when we can't go outside, dudes do that in the block. So P.I. walking like that with his peoples, And man, he just walking, and he don't walk, man, probably about 20, 30 minutes, because we've been out there about that long. And the next thing you know, man, he just came up behind dude, man, that owed him the money, and he grabbed by his head and pulled his head back and cut his throat, man, and then came across his face. And it was so quick, it was like, mop, and cut it and just walked off. And he said, yeah, pay it now, and just walk. And walk with the boy, and just kept on walking. And dude just grabbed his face and grabbed his neck, man. And he just fell out on the ground, and he was hollering, and blood was just, you could see the blood just dripping, his shirt just turning red. And he hollering, and he running to the booth, and to the door, the side door, trying to get out, and he hollering and screaming, and he's just bleeding, man, and dudes is just looking like, oh man, what's up? And it was just insane. And P.I. is steady walking like it ain't nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. Walking around. And as he come down, and the dude is here, standing at the bars hollering for help, he just turn the corner and keep on going. Turn the corner like it ain't even him. And I'm like, man, what you talking about? And then what's so crazy, because I had seen, by talking to him, I seen what he used. I knew what he hit him with. Man, this man actually had the fingernail clippers. You know how you get the fingernail clippers, but you get them kind that got these different utensils on them that you can open up like a knife, but they actually fingernail clippers. Well, the one that you open up that you file your fingers with, it was a knife for him. I don't know how he got it made on there, whatever. It was a knife, and it was sharp as a razor blade, and it was probably about almost as long as your index finger. And he had that, and he kept it on him at all times on his little key ring. And I seen it, because he had showed it to me before. And this is what he used to cut dude's throat and cut his face wide open. I'm talking about blood everywhere. I'm talking about the dude was drenched with blood. It was like he was getting ready to bleed out. And he just at the bars, and he hollering for help, and it ain't nobody paying him no mind, man. Nobody's coming to help him, nobody's coming to save him, and he's just sitting there and trying to hold his blood in. And if P.I. wanted to, he could have went over there and killed him. Because dude was helpless, and he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? And he just kept walking, man, and we stayed out there until rec was over. And when the people came and seen him at the bars bleeding and hollering, and they telling everybody, lock up for rec. So they got to come in there and try to get him. And man, I just felt sorry for him, man, because like I said, I hadn't seen that at that point. And to me, it was just like insane. And everybody out there know what happened. Everybody out there know what's going on. But everybody is moving and doing their own thing and acting like it ain't nothing happen, man. Acting like it ain't never go down. Acting like a dude just ain't get his face sliced wide open and his throat cut from ear to ear. Crazy, man. And I'm like, man, this, woo, you know what I'm saying? And P.I. is just as calm, as a cucumber, just as cool as a cucumber. He just like it ain't nothing ever happened. He's just walking and talking with his people. When everybody lock up and everything, we go in, man. His blood still all out there, all up and down the tier where he walked, and his blood dripped all the way to the bars. It's like blood all in the block. They lock up like it ain't nothing happened, man. We come out the very next morning. The very next morning, man, like it never happened. Like it never happened, man. And it was crazy. It was a wild scene. And I just remember that. It was just so profound in my mind. And I was telling, you know, my nephews them about that situation so they can understand this is the life in there, man. This is the life in there that you have to live because you have no choice. There's no getting around it. This is it. This is your environment. You understand me? You're going to have to adapt, cope, and adjust, or you're going to get eaten up by the wolves. You know, so these was things that shaped my philosophy when I was in prison. The violence, the craziness, the realness of where I was. I knew what I had to do. I knew, you know what I'm saying, how I had to survive. I knew what the lay of the land was, you know, from things like that and seeing it early, you know. And that's why I say, man, the war was a gift and a curse, man. It was a gift because it taught me to be on point at all times, to underestimate no one, to protect my own life because no one is going to help me, to, you know, be ready for anything, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. The war taught me all of that with all the things I seen and things I witnessed, you know. And it was just, I remember that incident, man, like it was yesterday. And I'm young, I'm new in the penitentiary, so this is like shocking to me, you know. And then on top of that, I can remember, you know, years later, I ran into PI too. He was still locked up years later, but I think he eventually got out, but he was old as Methuselah, you know what I'm saying, by the time he got out. But I also seen that dude, man. I think that dude that got out and came back, but I do remember running into him decades later on another institution, and I seen the scar on his face and the scar in his neck, which made me remember where I knew him from. So I used to catch myself, man, staring at him, you know, because I could just recall that incident. And I used to have to try to catch myself. And he caught me one day like looking at, and he said something, which means or tells me that he had seen me prior to that, and I just didn't know it. But he was like, man, what you got a problem, man? I was like, no, player, no, I ain't looking at you, I'm looking at something else. He said, yeah, okay, you know, and I'm saying in my mind, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You know, I know what happened to you. I remember. That's why I'm looking. But I ain't want no problems with it because first and foremost, I knew I was wrong because I ain't had no business staring at him no matter what. But that was my reasoning for staring at him because I remembered him from that incident, man. And I knew him from somewhere, but that and that, it was just too obvious. And I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So, man, that was just a crazy event for me. It was a crazy time. I just remember those things, man. And man, the war was it, man. I'm telling you, man. It was the jungle, man. It was a killing field, man. It was every man for himself. We was really, really living, you know, like that in there, man. Like it was no tomorrow. You know, like it's no tomorrow. It's like nobody got release dates. It's like ain't nobody going home. This is the thinking that I had when I was in there because of the way dudes was acting. And you may see somebody acting like that and doing all that, and you say, man, what this 10 life sentence? Man got 4 years. What? You know, because that's just how they was living. It's how they was living. And the police knew it, man. They ain't want no parts of it. They come in there when they want to come in there, man. They come in there when they have to come in there. And they do not come alone. You know, they do not come alone, man, because it was real in the field out there, man. I mean, super real, you know. And, yeah, man, I remember those things like it was yesterday, man. And I wanted my nephews, them to get that concept. And, you know, my nephews don't get in no trouble. They ain't out here breaking the law and doing none of this foolishness. But I still wanted to put that philosophy in their head that, you know, you're only one mistake away from prison. You're only one bad decision away from prison. You understand? From messing up your life. And when I look at these dudes out here now, the way they moving, these young people out here, and the activities that they're involved in, man, I be praying for them, man. I be praying for them. I be like, bro, you don't know what you in for. You don't know what you know, putting your life, you know, in the hands of. You have no clue, man. Because if you did, you'll move different, you'll act different. Because, man, these people ain't playing with you when they get you locked up in there, man. They ain't playing with you, and the dudes that's in there ain't playing with you. Everybody mad, everybody got an attitude, everybody's without loved ones, everybody's without family, everybody's without their woman, everybody's without their kids. Everybody is mad, angry, frustrated. And the person who probably they're gonna take it out on is gonna be the person right beside them, or either right over here beside them. That's just how it goes. So man, please y'all, man, pay attention out here, young fellas. Stop throwing your life away out here. Stop taking these chances. It's not worth it. I'm telling you because I know. You know what I'm saying? It's always a better tomorrow, man, if you out here on these streets and you free. So man, yeah, take heed, man. P.I., man, I remember that in the wall, man. He cut that dude's throat and sliced his face open. And that's something that dude had to live with for the rest of his life. Nah, he ain't died. He survived. But he bear the scars of decisions he made for the rest of his life. And the crazy part about it is P.I. ain't even had to pay for it. Far as like getting a charge. Far as like, he ain't even had to, because he didn't even get caught. Because it was taboo to even tell in there back them days. You tell if you want to, you labeled, and that's it. So he ain't even had to face the consequences with that. But karma always come back on you. He probably had to face it later on down the line in another way, shape, form, or fashion. But right then and there, got away with it cold. And it also sent a message to the rest of the population that he ain't too old, he ain't too caught up that he won't make a move if he have to make a move. And that's what his intent was, and the message was delivered, and the message was received. Because they was like, oh, that's a crazy old cat. And that's what he wanted them to think. And he was right. He was crazy. You know what I'm saying? For real. That was insane in itself. He was crazy. So yeah, man, I just wanted to drop that on y'all real fast, man, because I was telling it and it was on my mind. Even though I'm out here, I'm over my sister's house, man, I had to put this video together right fast for y'all. I hope y'all get something out of it. I hope y'all like this video. I hope you leave me a comment. I hope you share this video. I hope you tell a friend about what we got going on over here, man. And I hope you show up tomorrow, because we be right back at you, man. Boom. Y'all be safe out there. Be smart. Make good decisions there. Boom, 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 boom. Duck them hooks. Yeah, I'm standing up, y'all. You don't know. You don't know how that stuff might come. Peace. We out here.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.